So let's start off with your CV. So you find a good vacancy, and now you want to use self-analysis while making your CV. We're going to talk about your experience, your skills, and your personal profile, and how to show self-analysis in your CV. So starting off with experience. Imagine this is your work description of a certain job you had. Pause the video now and see if you can identify some qualities or skills. Did you succeed? Did you identify some qualities and skills? Let's go through it together. So the first one is quite straightforward because it talks about enhancing my coaching skills. So it's literally a description of which skills you have developed. The second one is more indirect, so provided workshops and developing tailor-made workshops. This is not talking about a skill in particular, but you can extract from this that this person is probably good at presenting something, at giving trainings. Maybe this person is even creative because the person makes workshops themselves. Then the third one maybe says something about quality. So somebody is appointed to represent an organization. Does that mean that that person naturally already is representative? Then the next subject is hard skills and soft skills. So in the last video, we already told you about the difference between hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills are measurable, such as how good you are in speaking Spanish or how good you are in InDesign. Then soft skills are not measurable. So this is how good you are in teamwork or how good you are in being flexible. And you already hear that it's hard to, well, impossible to measure how good you are in, for example, teamwork. So hard skills you can just put on your CV and the level you have of that hard skill. So you can say that you have professional experience with Photoshop. Soft skills, on the other hand, put those in your cover letter. And if you put them in your CV, as we saw before, put them in context, put them in your work experience, for example. Because soft skills do need some context and do need some evidence. So if we go back, you see, for example, the last one, organizing an annual event for students. So this says something about somebody's organizational skills. And it also has some additional evidence because it was an event for around 80 students. That says something about your organizational skills as well. Then the last part is personal profile. Please pause the video and read those two personal profiles and see, do I see something about qualities, about skills, or maybe even about values? Have you extracted the aspects of self-analysis from these personal profiles? Well, you can do that as well with your own personal profile. If you need any help with your personal profile, please visit the Career Services website and see how we can help you, or contact us by sending us an email, or even subscribe for our CV workshop, where we will also address the personal profile.
Hi again. Now that we have applied our new knowledge to making a CV, let's see how we can employ this into making a cover letter. Here is where you begin proving your experience and your abilities. On a cover letter, in a full page, you can go in depth. The exercises derived here are from the full 2-hour workshop, also called Stand Out with Your Cover Letter. And if you're interested after this, you can sign up for it later on the website. Well, the basis for a good cover letter is that you show basically two things. One, that you're a qualified and competent employee, and two, that you're a match with the company, you as a person, in their culture. And luck has it that we have been working on exactly that today. So, how do we go on to do this? How do you show that you are a match with the company of your dreams? Well, the first thing you can do is by analyzing the vacancy that you are looking at. Often they contain important information about the job, but how do you know what is the most important and what should you focus on in your cover letter? What you're trying to do is to match your abilities with the wishes of the company that you're looking for. So, thus you can do your research, go on their website, try speaking to people, go to the LinkedIn page, and try to see, if the company you're applying for actually is a place you will want to work. Think of the company structure, the work environment. Is it a large or a small company? Is it flexible, the work, or is it more 9 to 5? Or the values, is it the company that values and the environment, or are you very ambitious and do you want to work in a competitive environment? And why this company in particular? What sets them apart from their competition? Why are you applying for Mercedes and not for Peugeot? In doing research like this, it shows that you do not only take yourself seriously, but also the company. And that's also what you want to do in your cover letter. You want to be able to tell them why you, in particular, want to work for them and why they will want you. So, what I want you to try in this assignment is that you pretend that you're not applying for a position only as a future employee, but to think as if you're already working there. Gather some questions, who is the employer? Why does the company do what they do? What kind of workplace is it? What kind of people are they looking for? Really go undercover right here in this exercise. So you can pause the video here and take a few minutes. By now, you have collected information about the company and matched your values and ambitions with those of the company you're applying to work for. So, how do we go on to prove this? One method you can try to use is called the STAR method. It's a method that allows you to illustrate skills or qualities using examples. And this is what you use in the core of your letter. In a paragraph, often you explain what the situation was, the task, the action, and afterwards the result or the reflection. It shows that you know what you needed to do in a position, in either your work or your study or in extracurricular activities, as we thought about earlier in the workshop. So say you were flexible, as Pepijn mentioned. Um, you work in, for example, the festival business, highly seasonal, depends on the weather or on unexpected activities, artists might cancel an event, or the weather might change so bad that you have to move everyone indoors and you have to find a tent. Well, what I want you to try in an assignment like this is to think of a quality or skill of yours that you can structure according to this method. So imagine if an artist canceled the event, how did you act? Did you find a new artist? Did you find a replacement act, or did you change the event? Did you go on to do improv theater? Was it a good night? Was it a good outcome? And it shows that you, yeah, know your responsibilities, that you are able to reflect and also perhaps to analyze what might be a better way to solve this. You can pause the video right now and take a few minutes to think about this. Now that you have gathered the know-how how to write an amazing cover letter, Miriam will tell you about the job interview and how you prepare for that, now that you will be invited for it, obviously. Thank you for listening.
Pepijn and Fouad has already walked you through how you can apply your qualities, skills, and values in the context of a CV and a cover letter. And now I'm going to show you how you can do it in a job interview. So starting off with the core quadrant. So your employer will most likely ask you, what are your weak points? And the best way to present them is by saying, when I have a goal in mind, I tend to become very determined. Since I'm aware that it can make me pushy sometimes, I'm learning to become more patient. and become more patient by doing this or that. This signals to the employer that you're aware of your shortcomings while trying to work on them. All right, so Fuad has already walked you through the STAR method. I will now show you how you can also apply this in the job context, the job interview context. You can sometimes be asked to explain a situation about a real experience that you have had. It does not necessarily have to be a work experience, but as long as it describes a relevant skill. So this is an example of a person who used the STAR method to explain his or her skills. So what I would like you to do is to pause the video and identify what was the skill, what was the setting and task, and what the results were. All right, good luck. All right, let's see if you managed to get it right. So the skill is obviously the organizational skills. And the setting and task was to create a sports event at the school for 100 participants. And the result was that this person developed these skills further by raising 500 euros in last year's fundraiser for Student Association, and also make it in the North seminar for several parties. This is a very nice way to explain your experience and your skill in a more narrative form. And it's also easier for the employer to remember your story. Now, what about your values? Well, your values are equally important that they match with the organization values match with yours. And how you can sort of identify the organizational values is by asking smart questions that will lead you to learn more in depth about the organization. So this is an example of an organization's mission statement. And what I want you to do is to read the example and come up with 3 smart questions related to their motto. Do what you're able to do. All right, see you in a bit. All right, did you come up with 3 questions? All right, good. So I also wanted to give you 3 smart questions that you could potentially ask. And these questions are very they dig deeper into the organizational values. So instead of asking the superficial questions like what are your yearly revenue, it might be smarter to ask something more in depth. For example, do what you're able to do. What does this mean to you during treatment? And this will make the organizational values unfold even more, and you can then see whether this organization fits you. So also ask you questions like, can you see yourself working there? Do your values match theirs? And think about this before you apply, and base your questions on true curiosity about them, because it's equally important to work in a place which you enjoy and your values match. All right, so these were 3 examples how you can use the core quadrant, the STAR method, and your values in a job interview context. So if you would like to know more how you can have a successful interview, please sign up for our workshops at rug.nl/career services. Thank you everyone for listening, and I hope you're all safe and healthy, and hopefully we'll see each other in the workshops. Bye!